Hey, it's Aron. Welcome back to the second part of my vlog explaining how I built virtual movie sets for Unreal Engine. As you can see, I finalized my 3D model in 3ds Max. Last time I was only working on this front side, but in the meantime I added some more geometry to the whole block. I'm saying block because it has like 4 sides to it. And basically I have 2 base designs which I mixed up together, allowing me to have different types of facades. And this will be handy later on when building the scene in Unreal Engine to have easy and lots of variation. I also added some randomness in the windows. And before I head over to Unreal Engine, there's a side step I need to take because as you see, and if I zoom in you see it even better, the textures now are really clean. And of course, a building, especially if it's like 80 to 100 years old, is never clean. It has scratches, it has dust, it has leaks, it has graffiti, all of those things. So in order to achieve that without losing texture quality in the base textures, I basically added a second layer, which is called a second UV channel, over this layer of base textures. It's like a transparent canvas which is dropped over these base textures, and I'm gonna use that second layer to add all the scratches and dirt, etc. So before I head over to Unreal Engine, let's fix that first. I divided the whole building into basically 2 parts. The bottom part, that's where you need like more resolution because you're closer to it, and the upper part and the roof needs less resolution because you won't see it from up close anyways. So then we jump to the next program, showing you first the cleanness of the topology again, so you don't see any strange lines or lines that can cause any problems later on. You need to check that in this stage. Okay, let's switch off the wireframe and go back to the texture settings. Okay, so it still looks a bit dull, and you know, usually when you look at a facade it has depths and deeper areas are more dark, etc. So what you do first, or what I do, is I activate an ambient occlusion layer. And basically what that does, I'll switch it on for the bottom and the upper part, it kind of accentuates the depth and creases of areas that come together, or areas that have specific depth. So you see the result it already gives. After that, basically you have a clean canvas to draw on, and this this basically is the trick that I was describing helps us to allow us to paint on every area of this building to add scratches. So I already went ahead and did some first filters and masks. So this is the first thing I always do, and I'll put it on for the top layer as well. There you go. So you see a completely different appearance already, even without having the colors or the color textures as a background, right? So once that's done, it's basically up to the artist and start painting any other irregularities on a facade. So for instance, if you look at a roof, it's never clean. It always has leaks, right? Chalk or water or green stuff from I don't know where. And basically what you do is paint those effects onto the roof itself by hand. So you basically start painting, and the software takes into account the gravity, and when you layer this on top of each other, you'll get a really natural result. So I'll pause for now and continue adding all these irregularities, and I'll get back to you. So here you see the final results for the roof. I basically played around with like 3 colors: green, a darker material, and a lighter like white. No worries if we have to change it later. It's like Photoshop. It's all in layers and I can change anything later on. So I'm not too worried about any mistakes. When I finish the roof and I go to the bottom part of the building, basically the leaks, if I want to do any leaks over there, there's one area that I concentrate on, and that's the bottom parts. So if you have a surface that makes contact with the ground or a pavement, whatever, it will always have like a zone where water sucks into it and runs up the wall. So those kind of areas I accentuate as well, and how I do it is basically by having gravity work for me the opposite way, and I really subtle. I add these small details, but they are small, but even if they're small, they're important, is what I always say. So that's how I add water rising from the pavement and add details like that. So one of the most fun parts, I think, is adding stuff like graffiti. So I downloaded some images, or I can even make them myself, and I project those on the facade. So something like this. There we go. And then if we want to add something underneath, we'll pick a different image. There you go. So like that, it's possible to go around the whole building. Yeah, let's do something over here, and let's see. And to conclude this, adding all the irregularities, I go back to areas that I might have forgotten or haven't modeled in 3D, and I add details by just painting it instead of modeling. For instance, any connection of roof planes, there's always a there would be something like lead or zinc to separate these areas from each other. So like this, I can easily just add these details without the need to model them. I just paint them. It doesn't have to be like really accurate because it's old and it's far away from the viewer. But there's always in areas where roofs come together. There's always pieces of zinc or lead, and this is the moment to paint these on the surfaces. Oh, like that. Again, they might be hardly visible, but still, um, they do contribute to the overall look and feel. You don't have to be really neat or tight, but these kinds of things make a difference. So let's keep it at this. So here you have the basically painted dirt building, and from here we're ready to export the dirt and add this to the base texture in Unreal Engine. Okay, so I went ahead in Unreal Engine and I imported the bottom part for demonstration purposes. I copied it one time and want to show you the end result of a clean import, which both of them are at the moment, and then I'll show you the effect the dirt layer has. So here in a few clicks I activated the dirt layer. I still need to do some color correction, but immediately you see the difference in the result, right? From clean to adding dirt. Keep in mind that I can always correct these hard black edges and any little bugs that might be visible. I can adjust them in the painter program that I demonstrated earlier. So from here I'm gonna build the complete building. So here's the final result in Unreal Engine. We did some further tweaking, added some depth and light to the windows, and as you can see, all the dirt, specifically if we look to the roof, is overlaid on the base textures, giving it a much more natural result. So from here, it's actually quite easy to build a complete city. As I said earlier, this unit has 4 sides, so what we can do is basically start copying and rotating. And to finish it off, I did some cinematics in Unreal Engine. And this basically concludes the second vlog on how I build content for virtual movie sets. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hope to see you next week.